Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Eden Zero Chapter 55. Okay, so first and foremost, I have to give credit where it's due. With this chapter, like what happened is that Mashima did kind of save himself with Garrett essentially did save himself a little bit with Garrett essentially sending Shiki and Homura away to a completely different location entirely. But on the other hand, I do have to admit, just in the way it was handled, it pretty much felt like what Mashima was doing is he was trying to have his cake and eat it too, because there were still consequences. Because in this chapter with Garrett and Homura, Homer being sent away, obviously this pretty much is in its own way a certain consequence for going up against Garrett, but I still want to see Shiki being faced with that particular threat of Garrett or anyone just doing something to the other prisoners, and especially now that we've learned that he and the other head prison guards have partial control over the same power as the Scarlet Woman. Like this just kind of adds to the idea that yeah, I want to see. I want to see Shiki faced with kind of a bit of with a hard decision, but yeah, and to an effect to an effect we also get introduced to another head guard, Axe Punisher Baku, and the thing is with this guy's introduction, it even kind of it really does complicate things even. It really does complicate this even further because basically what Mashima is doing is he's stacking the odds while all pretty much trying to avoid it feels like Mashima is kind of stacking the odds while he's also trying to avoid that he's also trying to avoid that particular he's also trying to avoid that whole particular like situation in general. Like he's pretty much stacking the odds where all these powerful guys are appearing, but at this where all these powerful guys and the Scarlet Woman are kind of being stacked on top of each other as threats to Shiki, Homura, and the Zero crew in general. But at the same time, it's more obvious than not that what Mashima is doing is he's stacking the odds, but he's pretty much avoiding just kind of the core, just pretty much the core situation altogether. Like it's impossible. It's like he's trying to avoid like putting the prisoners in any like real dangerous situation. It feels like. With all that being, although. With all that being said, with all that being the case, I will say that based off this chapter, one thing I did notice is bringing up Valkyrie definitely touched a nerve with Garrett. So obviously there's definitely something he's hiding, and we'll probably learn a little more of what he's hiding during when it comes to during the whole meeting when we get to the whole meeting with the Scarlet Woman, which. In that setup as well, I'm hoping we're going to learn a lot more about the Scarlet Woman herself, because there's a whole lot, even putting the stuff I thought was iffy aside, like there's just a whole lot of mysteries that obviously that we just need more information on, and the Scarlet Woman is still like the biggest mystery in this arc so far. And one thing one thing I can say I really liked about this chapter is how when we see Homura and Shiki actually get transported to the mine, those pretty much take a complete step back in order for Rebecca to be put in the spotlight. And I like how this whole setup with the giant stone creature actually shows right from the get-go just pretty much how outclassed that both Homura and Shiki actually are, and it's saying to us as the reader that in order to beat that monster, but both Homura, Shiki, Paul, and both Homura, Shiki, and Paul and Rebecca are gonna have to work together. And honestly, I will say this when it comes to the battle choreography when it comes to Mashima and his battle choreography, I will admit, like when it comes to the solo fights, he really seems to falter with that. But I feel that when it comes to doing battle choreography, I feel Mashima's biggest strength is when it comes to showing how the characters team up and work off each other. Like I feel when it comes to his team up battles, that I think that particularly is from where Mashima is basically at his strongest when it comes to doing the fights. If it's I think so. I definitely like this particular build up for sure. It just kind of builds that there's obviously going to be something there needs to be something that obviously this creature is too strong, so let's kind of team up. It's obviously that kind of situation, and I think that is the strongest thing that Mashima does have going for him is whenever he does battles, his team up battles are always the best. But aside from that, there really wasn't much progression with this chapter other than Paul's look that he gives when seeing Homura. So obviously probably within the next 2 or 3 chapters, I imagine we're going to learn what the message is that Prince Valkyrie had left for Homura, and honestly, those in particular are the 2 mysteries I really want to know about. I want to learn more about the Scarlet Wound, which is probably going to be revealed in that meeting that Prince Baku and Garrett have been called to, and I really want to learn what kind of message it is that pretty much he left for that Valkyrie left for Homura, because there's right now with this chapter, I guess you could say that it was pretty much a little bit of nice setup. I guess if I had to describe this chapter in a way, it was a lot of nice setup. It was a lot of nice setup for us to actually get answers on questions and mysteries that have already been set up within this arc. So guys. That's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Illustrator Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.